Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about what these earth tones really are. And let me introduce you a little bit to the word chroma. Chroma means the intensity of color. So high chroma are bright colors. Low are subdued colors. And we start with the subdued colors for many reasons. Because the whole development, the history of humans, when they have the first artists, they worked with earth tones. Meaning they really painted with clay, with the pigment of the earth. If you go to a city that's called Sienna in Italy, you understand where raw sienna comes from. And raw sienna is one of the earth tones that you mostly find in an oil paint kit. It's raw and burnt sienna, it's raw and burnt umber, it's earth green, it's yellow ochre, although ochres also exist in red and even darker, a dark brown, almost black. And then there's black and there's white. Now, as I said before, the white we really don't use unless we have toned paper, because it's not working very well on top of other layers with the colored pencils. But these earth tones are the base of everybody who works with color. And these base colors tone the chroma down of the high intensity colors as we know them, the hues, the yellow, orange, red, blue. If you mix blue with a little bit of raw sienna or yellow ochre, then you get a more subdued blue. But we're not using blue right now. We only have these 5 or 6 or 7, whatever you find in your toolbox. We're going to use these. And there's a reason for that. Because when we use the monochromatic colors, as we really can use them monochromatically, we only have 1 or 2 colors. I added a little bit more. With a very limited palette, you learn more about your composition, about your values, and how to build up the values with the colored pencils. You will notice immediately that they are different to work with than regular pencils. Regular pencil is actually a monochromatic color, a monochromatic gray, or black and white, when white is the paper and black is the pencil. And now we're adding more and more color to it. Raw sienna, like I said, was dirt, and they made pottery of the clay, of the soil, and when they were burning it, it became red. So that's where burnt sienna got its name. It became an intense rusty, it's a little bit rusty color, red. In the Middle Ages, the pigment masters started making pigments, and they would grind the colors until it was intense enough to bind it with either oil or egg or whatever they could find to make it a substance that they can use with brushes. And these pigment masters were highly respected. Rembrandt, for example, has a painting of them. It's called the Staalmeesters. And these are guys who were quality controlling the colors of the fabric in the 1600s, 1630, 1640 in Amsterdam. But in Italy also, they were working with finding really beautiful colors. One of the first ones was in ultramarine, which was very, very expensive, but they would grind that from lapis lazuli. It was very intense. But before that, they worked with the earth tones, and that is how we're going to do that too. So raw sienna, if you don't have it in your toolbox, look for a subdued yellow. Not bright yellow, but a little bit more brown. And burnt sienna is this rusty color. Now umber is almost a gray, a warm gray. And it can go to burnt umber, which is a little bit warmer. But it's not red. It's very dark, actually. And then there's ochre, yellow ochre. Yellow ochre is very often used to make flesh tone. So you can do this as well. Now look for another item that you can study. You can see how the light is going to work and make something really beautiful of it. If you press hard, the color sticks better. If you keep it light, you have just a very subtle feeling of the color. Like I always use yellow, slightly yellow on top of the white. I do not have earth green in my toolkit, so I didn't use it. But if you have, it's a grayish green, please use it. You will notice that the black will not be the same as a soft graphite pencil. The black really sticks to the paper very strongly, and you cannot erase it. So that's why I would say always start in pencil, start very light, build up your whole drawing, including the background. The background is important. The shadow part is important. And don't be afraid to press hard. But don't start with black, because black is one of, actually I don't like to use black, but since we do it with a limited palette, we can have black in this case. Grab something you like, be inspired, and let's go to the next level. When I'm talking about pigments, I'm talking about pure powder with a high concentration of color. It's not high chroma, it's a high concentration of color. Now I have this little box. It's going to be my subject matter. It's very simple, but it has actually a lot of colors in it because of the gold. I am looking a little bit warped, so don't judge me too much on how it looks because I cannot really see straight forward because of the camera. It's not an excuse, it's the truth. So let's have a look a little bit what's going on. I start with pencil. It's on a white underground, but the backdrop is very dark. And the light is bright, so there's not that much shadow. The white is around it is really, really bright. So let's go from here. Because it is a shiny object, there's a strong contrast. It's very interesting, actually. It might even change with the changing light. There's a lot to see. This is gray. The gray is covering the object, but also there's a slight reflection. There's a strong light coming from the back and also from the side. I have not used black yet. This is burnt umber, very dark brown. It's warmer than black. This is black. Now I'm going to press really hard because now I want the color to show. And I leave the lightest light white. I leave the paper white. To go over it with darker colors, lighter colors is fine. It blends more and more the more layers you have. This is gray too. I'm toning it down a little bit to get the brightness out a little bit more. Now I'm adding black to it, because now I know where the darkest dark is. And I could layer it with, if I have all the colors, I could layer it, which makes for more vibrant. Black is kind of dead. But in this case, with a limited palette, I can use black.